Hi there. I was just potting up some, or about to pot up some bare root grapes, and so I thought I might just show you guys how I do this. I used to really hate bare roots because I had such bad luck with them. I mean, even when I followed all of the directions that the package says, you know, and tried to take tips from other gardeners in my area who say, oh, April in our area is bare root season, so plant them then and you'll have better success. Even when I did all the things that everybody was telling me to do, I still had really bad success, and I started feeling really bad about myself about it. And eventually I ended up figuring out this method because I liked the way potted plants had such good success rates. When I planted stuff in pots in the ground and kept them watered and everything, they would always live. But when I planted, you know, bare roots, following all of the directions, I literally think I had maybe a 25% success rate, maybe. It was awful. And so ever since then, I've been potting up my bare roots in pots so that I can have the success rate of the bare roots in pots, potted plants, but the price for a bare root, because bare roots are a whole lot cheaper. So, and I know I did a video recently about how to do strawberries, but strawberries are a little different. All the rest of the bare roots, you know, stuff that's going to end up being a shrub or a vine of some sort, woody plants basically get done a little differently than strawberries because they're just little small plants. So that's why I wanted to show you how I do these. The first thing you do is take it out of the packing material. And the next thing you're going to want to do is take it out of all of this soil. This is part of the packing material, and you don't want to plant them with this stuff included. So just really gently scrub it all off. And this one has a really nice root system. And so once you get basically most of it off, you don't have to be too, you know, picky about it, because the next part we're going to do is we're going to soak it. I have a bucket of some water over here. I'm going to set it in. And I have a couple of other, well, I'm doing grapes, so I'm going to put those two types of grapes away. And then I have these other two types of grapes that I've been soaking before, maybe about 20 or 30 minutes. You wouldn't want to soak them for more than about, I would say a couple hours, because then you could cause the roots to rot. Root rot is a pretty serious disease that plants get that causes things to fail, so, you know, that's why it's always better to be cautious with the watering. So once you got all the packing material off and you've soaked them in a pot of water or a bucket of water of some sort for about 20 or 30 minutes, up to a couple hours, stick them in your pot and stick the soil around. Now on these you're going to want to try to spread the roots out as you're putting the soil in it. You don't want all the roots to be like this and the soil around them. You want the roots to sort of spread out and the soil to go around them a little better than that. So, and the spot that you pot them up to is, if you look at the stalk and you look at the top roots, you're going to want to cover the top roots with about an inch or two of soil. These aren't quite as tough to make sure that they're in the right spot like strawberries. Those are a little picky as far as how deep they get potted. But they're easier because you don't have to soak them. So anyway, if you missed that video, feel free to check it out. I'm just going to keep putting some soil in here until I'm already at around the spot where the roots end. So now I'm a little above it, maybe by about a ½ inch. I think I'll go a little higher. So like I said, it's about an inch or two. There we go. That's perfect. It gives the pot some headspace. You know, you don't want to fill your pots all the way to the top, because then when you go to water, the water will run right off. You want the soil to be down a little bit so that when you water, it stays in the pot. So I think that's perfect. So now I'm going to set this in a nice sunny spot, and then in about a month or so, when it's actually ready to plant them outside, it'll be ready to go out in the garden, and I'll have a much better success rate than if I were to try to plant these outside. Because if I were to try to plant them outside now, it's still early in the spring and we tend to still get snowstorms and things like that, and those sorts of things can cause the plants not to work out. So that's why it's important to plant them outside at the right time. So I think I covered everything. If If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and thank you so much for watching the video.